Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. Time to take a tea run. This will be the Cornfield tour. All right, it's get a Model T out and drive it day. It's a Sunday. It's going to be beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. The wind is blowing, and it's only going to be 75 degrees. Watch this and probably won't start. If it don't, we'll take that one. If I can get my, body through here. Looks that way. Okay. Get everything set. Hey, this is Bruce. Welcome back to Klepp's Garage, and today we're going to do a little episode on this car here. This is my 1911 Model T Ford that I built from just parts. So basically, if you want to know how to build a car that starts out with, say, that frame up there, is what I started with, and then you get a pile of parts, and you get some wheels, and you find a motor, not the big motor, little motor, and then you just start putting it together and painting everything and making it look pretty. So it can look like this one, or it can look like this one I'm building. So we'll kind of go through what it takes to put one of these together from a pile of parts. And then I think we'll get this one out and take it for a little ride today. My friend Hank's coming over. We're going to do a little touring. We'll kind of put this all together and see how this goes today. So you ask, well, how do you go from this to that? Well, let's start from the beginning. First, find you a good straight frame, one's not too rusty. The nice thing about Model T stuff is they really just don't rust all the way through like today's cars. They'll be a little rusty, but the kind of steel they made them out of back in the day had probably a high nickel copper content in it, and they just don't rust out like today's stuff. So get you a frame, and then find you some wheels, and preferably wheels that have tires on them. On wood wheels, I've found over the years, if they've got paint on them, they're probably good. If they've been outside and they look more like this, no, this one's actually decent, but no paint on them and the wood looks a little punky, probably want to stay away from those wheels. Because there's enough Model T wheels out there. You can find good ones like these here. And maybe they don't suit you paint-wise. You can strip them all the way down and paint them. You can leave them natural wood. You can just paint over the top with a brush. They don't have to be perfect if you're just building something to drive. Now, if you're building a show car, that's another story. So then, find your rear end and either have it rebuilt or find somebody who can show you how to rebuild it, or watch Klepp's episode. I'll put it down here because I can't remember which one it is. We got an episode on rebuilding one of those and an episode on rebuilding the front axle. Get that done, and then find you a motor. Let's take a look at a motor here real quick. So this is the underside of the Model T engine. You're going to say, well, it's missing something. Yeah, it's missing this thing here called the pan. So this is the pan. The motor block and the transmission all fits onto this, and then this is sheet metal too, by the way. And then so the motor and the transmission are all together on a Model T. They all run the same engine oil, and these are the bands for the transmission. Let's see, I always get this messed up. Is this in the brake? Well, it's one of these two. Let's see. Anyhow, so the brake stops the drive shaft from turning. And so the more you use the brake, the hotter this engine oil is going to get. So you want to be easy on the brakes. Anyhow, I would suggest you find a decent motor and have it rebuilt going through. Have somebody that knows what they're doing. And I mean knows what they're doing. They've been doing it. This isn't their first time doing it. And get it machined, get it done right. This one here has got aluminum pistons in it. It's had the dippers added. So originally, this is a splice system. Ford Model T did not have any type of a dipper until the Model A come out. But this is an aftermarket trick that you put on, and this greatly helps keep the Babbitt from wearing out. Usually put new timing gears in there. This is an aluminum one. And then you can recharge the magnets on the magneto. And then you're going to want to probably put, I run Kevlar bands, which is these yellow colored band material. Kevlar hardly ever wears out. Don't have to adjust them too often. And then, of course, you want somebody that are going to rebuild the drums. I would suggest getting new drums, and I'll put a link in the description of who you can order these drums from. All right, so I'm back here with Dave Nolte, and Dave's got an excellent broke-down model of the T transmission, and he's got it all color coordinated. So he's just going to give us a brief synopsis of how first, reverse, high gear, and brake works. So go ahead and do your thing.
The flywheel is attached to the crankshaft, and when the entire assembly is spinning like this, we're in high gear. The red drum shows you what your rear wheels are doing. So if you put the brake on, the rear wheels stop. If you stop the green drum, which is low gear, you notice that it's now traveling slower. Not this.
Oh, yeah, this.
Traveling slower than the flywheel. And then if you hold the blue one, there's reverse. We get reverse out of it. And the gear change is done, of course, high gear, you're running at crankshaft speed.
Yeah.
So
this is all locked in as one.
Because it's all locked in as one unit.
So none of these gears are turning.
None.
None of these are stopped.
But when you do stop these, the reverse gear has a larger gear than the gear on the triple. And that reverses your direction.
So the blue is this inner gear, right?
Yep.
That's the reverse gear. The green is the low band.
The low speed.
And then the brake, well, there is a brake on the red, though.
Actually, they call this the driven gear because it's what's driving
the high gear.
Driving everything. It drives your brake drum.
So it was very simple. This all ran in oil, motor oil, that actually helped keep it cool. Originally there was cotton bands around this, which nowadays we use Kevlar because you don't have to adjust them. They're like bulletproof. Get that? Kevlar, bulletproof? Anyhow. So it's a very simple design. It's what put the world on wheels. It's the closest thing to an automatic transmission because you're just holding the bands in. On an automatic transmission, the fluid pressure is holding those bands in. Same difference. So I don't know, anything else you want to add?
That's it. Drive your Model T.
Drive your Model T. It's a simple thing, and if you break any of these, this is the guy to see because he makes them all brand new CNC, which they didn't have back in the day. But boy, let me tell you, these are perfect. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I will. Well, you say that all looks like fun, but what do you do after you get all these parts together? Well, probably the next thing to do is put them all together, make sure they all fit correctly. And you can either paint them beforehand, put them together one piece at a time, or you can put the whole chassis together and paint the whole chassis. Sometimes I like doing it that way. It just works out easier. And then if you're going to put fenders on, you're going to build a full car, get your body, get your fenders, put them on, fit everything. Make sure everything fits, get everything bent the way it needs to be bent. Then tear it all back off and paint everything individually and put it back on. And then start adding what I call trinkets, like a windshield. That would be an accessory, or a horn, or cow lights, or headlights, which in this case I've modified to halogen low and high beam. Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to go to that extreme. You can use, well, nowadays they make an LED bulb that plugs into the kind of lights that go on this car. These here would have originally been acetylene that you would have had to get out and light a fire in there. But yeah, I don't do the acetylene thing, so I've made these a little bit more dependable. Ergo, why the alternator's on this car. So anyhow, you get all the parts put on and then just dress it out the way you want to dress it out. And then it's time to enjoy it. It's time to get it out and drive the thing. On a new motor build like that, I would suggest maybe leaving the hood off for the first 100 miles because they will run hot because everything's dragging. They'll tend to overheat. But once you get that first 100 mile on or so, after that, put the hood on it and drive it. Drive it like you stole it. Just go. Have some fun with them. This one here has been a project I've been working on. I think I got 15 years on this one. This life gets in the way. This one here took 9 years. Like over here and going through the motions. This one here, I'm kind of engineering as I build it because this is I built the whole body and I didn't have any of that stuff. So anyhow, it just depends on how involved you want to get into. If you find a car that's all together and you just want to nice up the motor or you want to strip it all the way down and start over, that's probably easier than building them from scratch. However, I like building up stuff from scratch, and I don't know, it makes you feel like one of the workers in the Ford plant because you're putting all the pieces together. And then you figure out if you left any off. So anyhow, I think it's about time to get this jalopy out and go for a tour here this afternoon.
Down here? Did it fall off down there?
I lost a bolt. And we haven't even got out of the driveway yet. All right, we made it to our first stop, and the girls are talking, and my friend Hank's over here. Say hi, Hank.
Hi, Hank.
So this is Hank's Model T. What year is this? 25 Model T. It's a little truck too. We like trucks. We used to be a member of the topless T's because neither one of us had a top, but we put a top on Hank's car, so I guess we're not the topless T's anymore. So there's the back of his. He's made all these little doodads here by hand because he's a blacksmith. So, you know, if the women don't find you handsome, they should find you handy, right? I've heard that somewhere before. All right, we're going to continue our little tour for the day. Now that you've seen the cars. Went this way. Once upon a time, this used to be a blacksmith shop, an authentic blacksmith shop. This building's actually made out of street paving bricks. That's why it looks the way it does. Now we're on an alley tour. Had to see that. Hey, well, that's going to do it for this little quick tour we did with our friends Hank and Deb, and we're just sitting here under the shade tree. Nice shade trees. So remember, get them out, drive them if you got them. It was a beautiful day, and we had fun, and we seen stuff we didn't know we was going to see, and all that good stuff. So we'll see you next time. Drive them if you got them. All right, so at the beginning of this video, you watched me pull this thing out, and that looked easy peasy. You're probably thinking to yourself, okay, Mr. Hotshot, let's see you put it back in there. You only got this much room on the one side and that much room on the other side. Yeah, I want to see this too. All right, let's watch. I guess the trick would be good eyesight and don't rev the motor up very far. Keep it down on idle. And there you go, easy peasy. Just don't forget to turn your gas off on these old cars. Don't want to have a fire. Okay, gas is off. Yeah, now I can get out of here. That's a little tight. I think I got fatter. Must have been a 5-pound tour. Ate too much. Well, let's just take you up and show you this, how close it is. So I just guided off whichever side I'm going to be the closest to, which in this case is this side here. I've got, there's, I don't know, an inch or so back there. Up here's a little tight, but we're not hitting anything. See that? Can't get there from here. Not hitting. And then, over here I got all kinds of room. Look at that. I can walk right through there. So there you go. Easy peasy. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that was way too easy. It was trick photography. Well, let's try it again, this time in slower version. this one I gotta get out on this side, so I backed it on the blind side. Yeah. See, that fits just as good, and it's even a smaller vehicle. Let's take a quick look at that, shall we? So now I got all kinds of room over here on this side, and not so much on this side. And I missed my top that's laying down underneath there. It's supposed to go on my Model T. Okay, see, you too can become a professional backer-upper. You just need to go slow.